You know, there's a time he told me, you know, us from Calais land, women don't talk. You listen to your husband, even if you don't like what you hear, you wait for that moment when he's happy. That is when.
Yeah, then you say. You don't just
say
up.
And you don't talk like you are giving orders. And me, I told him, you know, us the way we were brought up, we speak our mind. I don't have to lie to you that I'm happy if I'm not happy. And if I feel what you're telling me is unfair, I better tell you just right there, it is unfair.
Baby, you are my one and only. To you.
I like this. Hey, ulikuwa nagoja hii moment.
Unasema mimi ni fisi.
Nataka ni fisi. Kama ni mimi ndio unanifisi, hakuna shida. Welcome to the Love Edition here on Shared Moment with Justus,
where we give you the story of our love and romance.
Amen.
What
is this?
The Love Edition. Easy ni success card. Chukweni hiyo card, hiyo imeisha.
You want to take another one?
No, go play with it. But I think ulikuwa unanitaka pia kisa kisiri.
Sikuwahi kutaka by the way. Hata sikuwahi kunotice. Sikuwahi kunotice.
This is terrible.
Sikuwahi kunotice. I noticed the seriousness before I noticed the guy.
This is very terrible.
So meet Levi Kones. It's about from Mount Elgon. Who got a lady from Mount Kenya. And it's a good match. I met him as a single man like this. And he got lucky to have 2 girls and a wife in an instant.
Yeah, this is Wangeci. I like how you call me Levi. So
Yeah, Levi.
Yeah, that sounds poor son. Levi. So Wangeci, on my phone she saved as Kedowani. I think you were Wangeci Kwanza, then it changed kidogo.
Yes, because you like that song that sings Ujitaka mwendo wakwa Kedowani. That song.
That's sweet.
So you got that name from. Yes, that one.
It's played in our wedding.
Yeah.
It's a very nice song.
It's Mutara's the song is from a guy called Mutara.
Yes.
So that's where he got my name from.
Yeah. So Wangeci's mother, wife, good friends, intense relationship partner. So this is what happened. I was going, you know, so she's working at this media house. And this media house, of course, is the one where we were doing the Slim Possible thing from. But she used to do sound. She was in the sound. I think she used to come there. You said you were learning or you were...
Yeah, that time I was in school. I was doing TV and film production. But actually, that is not where he spotted me first. He first spotted me at Ndakaine. We had gone for a marathon.
Oh yeah, and you saw me.
Yes.
Oh yeah. So she was at Ndakaine. We were at Ndakaine. This one of the events of that Sleep Possible thing was to go run at Ndakaine. And when I was there, of course I saw her over there uko helping athletes. Ni hata kunipatia mimi maji. Ulikuwa unasaidia wengine huko.
So you see, that's why I'm saying I didn't notice you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I took some photos. And she noticed me taking some photos of her. Okay, I was taking photos of her and also other ambience around there.
That's a lie. He was taking photos of me. So I was told by a colleague, this dude, you haven't noticed that he's taking photos of you? I'm like, which dude? I did that one. I said, okay, let me go and ask him. So I went to him and I asked him, hi, my name is Eunice. I've been told you've been taking photos of me. Then he's like, really? I said, yes, really. Let me see what is in your camera. So he first looked at me and he's like, this
okay,
this
see,
guy.
she was polite and nice until there.
Yeah.
What are you doing with my photos?
Yeah, why? Where are you?
Why do you have my photos?
Yeah. And
we didn't talk
his
after that.
excuse was like, I like the way you worn all these Maasai regalia and all that, and where are you taking them? So he said, no, I'm just looking at them just to enjoy, to admire the culture of Maasai, but I won't take them anywhere, I promise. I told them, okay, I better not see them on social media. So he said, yeah, you won't see them. So I left him. So the following week, they came for Slim Possible as usual, and he was looking at me, and I was not really keen. Then the following week, that is when now you came to the office. Si nilikuwa naonesha kila mtu.
Mbona unadanganya Wakenya?
Wewe sasa unajifanya ati ajui kushika mic, sasa unashika mic vibaya. Na kumbe kwanza kumbe he had a background for production.
Anyway, I went to her to see her boss. But I didn't know, as luck would have it, that day she was at the reception. So I went, this is now formally I'm going, and there she is at the reception, and then we started talking. So I asked her, what I noticed first was on the computer there was a screensaver of the children, Bella and Sheila. So I asked her, whose children are these? And then she said, these are my children. I said, really? You have children? Yeah. So then I asked her, how come? And then she told me her story in a nutshell. She told me that she was a widow and these are her kids. And then I gave you my card.
He asked how old my firstborn was. And that time my firstborn was 9. So I told him she's 9. Said, my daughter could have been the same age as your daughter. So I asked him, could have been, where is she? So then he started telling me his story, how he was in States and his child died in his hands and all that. So I really felt sad. So I asked him, and where is your wife? Said, actually we broke up because of that, because she kept on blaming me that I'm the one who killed the baby. So I really felt bad for him, because I've not lost a child, but I had loss of close people to me, and I know how it feels and how you feel bad when you've lost a loved one and someone is blaming you on it. No one would want to lose anyone. So I really felt bad about it, and now I started talking to him in a different, now I forgot about him taking photos and what. So I started asking him, so how did you cope? How have you been from that time to this time? And then now the conversation was cut short, because now he was called to the office to go and see my boss. So when he came back from the office, he now offered me his card, so that now, can we have tea? Maybe we continue with the story and all that. And
Hey, she just told me, I don't take numbers of men. I said, okay. Well, then you give me your number. So she gave me her number, but reluctantly. I don't think she thought I would even call or anything. And then she told me, the other thing you said was, you said you're a mother, you don't have time for jokers.
Yeah, I told him that. So yeah, he offered me his card, and I told him I don't get cards from men. Then he said, you can call me. I said, I don't call men.
Yeah.
So he said, okay, then I can call
you.
I
said, okay. Who are watching this and they are single, saidia kijana saa zingine.
Hapana, usikuwe izigwa pia.
Now if I was scared,
so I was like, this guy now, he thinks, okay, at that point I was thinking, he thinks because I've been sympathetic about his story, I can just... So he texted me in the evening, said, hi, I hope you have a good night. Said, oh yeah, good night, as in 2 words, good night. Then now the following day they were having their show, and when he was coming for his show, he came and first spoke to me. Then at the studio, of course, I would see him looking at me. I'm like, this guy, he thinks he's beyond this. There's nothing beyond this conversation. And you know, that time, a lot of people were really eyeing me. So some were within the compound, some were like, I need to give you a hug before I go to the studio. This guy is over there. You think we are my colleagues, but they were just over there. So I said, let me have a date with him and just listen. It doesn't cost anything, just listen.
So we went to coffee.
When we met for the first date, I remember it was at Yaya Center. It's called Domino's.
Adams Arcade.
No, it was at
Oh,
Yaya
it was
Center.
at Yaya Center, yes.
Yeah, we sat there.
Oh,
It
that
was
was
an evening after work. It was the first date. It was an
chai.
evening after work. Hiyo coffee, alisema hiyo coffee. Do you know we drank that coffee until midnight? Yani the whole Yaya Center closed. And we are still there. Na story ishi. Mpaka tukafukuzwa. Where he had stories. Okay, I also had stories. But his stories were very interesting. He told me about his deportation. So, and then he told me about that relationship. And I was like, hey, unaweza chezwa tu hivyo na bado unafuata dem. So, unaweza kuacha limpoa ukipata mtu mwenye akuchezi. So, then I'm like, okay. So, this relationship started more of friendship because I could understand where he's coming from. And I also told him my stories. And then there's that one time when he told me that whether I would allow him to father my children. He doesn't. At the back of my mind, I'm like, hey, Akale, how can Akale inherit people's? Hey, you know, there are some people from Western. No, it is true. You know, it is very strange, and it's not one, two. Then I think maybe because they are girls. Then I'm like, but these girls have family. So there were many things going through my mind, but I just thought the most important thing is that the person who I will be living with is already willing to take up the task.
Before, in those 2 dates, because we talked so much, I think one of the most interesting things I found, which I still found about Wangeci, is that she's extremely open. It's a quality she's always had, that openness she has for telling you straight up. You know, sometimes I have to tell her, you know,
you don't have to say
you
it
don't
that
have
way,
to tell
even
people,
if it is true.
Hata kama ni ukweli.
Basi nyamaza.
She's like, why? But it's the truth. But she applies that also in her life, in her dealings. She's a very loyal person. If she's your person, she will fight for you to the end. If she's your friend, she'll always be. For you to cross her and remove that loyalty would take a lot. But she's very loyal and very honest and very open. And that was the most attractive thing about her. She didn't lie to me that she had children. She told me about, their background. She spoke to me about, her life, with the father of those children, what had happened. She told me the whole detail. She told me about her parents, who she had lost. So it was not for me, what I wanted to do was to meet the kids, but I think I was a bit faster than her in terms, because I think, coming from sometimes when you have an abusive relationship, or you've come from a place where things were not so good. And then at my age, I was 36 years old then. At that moment in time, I wasn't looking to date again and just go through some jokes again. And I don't think she was at that point either. So it was very easy for us to move a bit faster than other people would have moved. Because from the moment we started dating, which was when do unajuanga?
It was August we started talking. Then we would talk on and off, because we only talk when he's coming for the show. And then now when now we spoke of, let's have coffee, let's have tea, it was September. And then
I moved into your neighborhood.
Yes, you moved into my neighborhood in October.
Yeah, I became a neighbor.
Yes. This dude.
From Eldoret, by the way.
He really encroached my space, Baka.
Father, you know what I did? I sent her the money for my new house. I told her, get the house for me. I threw my things in a canter. I was coming.
And he was coming
got a
to
house.
where
I
he
had not seen it. I did not know where it was. I just told her, it should be in your neighborhood. So mimi nakanta na tuvitu twangu mpaka Nairobi, and I ended up not too far away from my house, because I wanted to, so between September, and you can imagine, I proposed to her November 1st. I was asking her to marry me. So it was barely 40 days.
Yeah.
Or something like that.
Yeah, something like that.
It was quick. Which is why it was quite a shocker for many of my friends and things like that. But let me tell you about the third date, because the third date is key. That date, nilipelekwa kwa Kesha. Oh yeah, Kesha. I told her that I was a very prayerful guy.
Yeah, he said that.
the producers even dying here? This.
So he said on our second date where we had lunch somewhere at Ngong Road, he said, you know, me, I'm a pastor's child. We grew up in our home praying. Our dad would wake up at 4 and pray. So I'm like, okay. So where did you grow up? He said, me, I grew up at Sitam. Unajua watu wa Sitam venye wanapeleka kwa groups in stages.
Kweli.
Misa yo, I've just gone to a Catholic church over there, did catechism, and I'm in choir and I'm singing. So I'm like, hey, this guy must be really prayerful. Eh? So I asked him, okay, now when you moved to Eldoret, what happened? No, I joined. In fact, there's a choir, we were singing the 4 of us. We were singing the 4 of you.
Yeah.
Yeah, at Sirikwa Pentecostal. So I said, this is a really nice guy. Yeah, I think I would like to be with somebody who's going to church. So that time, there was a kesha that used to happen every month at Sitam. Yes. So and he had a gig on Saturday, and so he said, no, we can go out and then enjoy ourselves, and then now tomorrow morning I catch a flight. I said, okay. Now me, this Friday I had planned to go for a kesha. He said, that's a very good idea. I said, yeah, it's a good idea. Yeah, actually you like Nini, you like praying. So we went to church. We sang, we prayed. Wait until 2.
So you know those keshas.
This guy is kneeling down. He's praying. He has not stopped. So me, I'm like, do I tap on him? Maybe he's interceding.
Ali to stretch. Alianza kusema na he reached a point. He's like, oh, pray for Somalia. Oh, pray for Sudan. Oh, pray for... I need to stretch. By the way, you pastors, hii mambo ya nini saa 8 tafadhali. Let's do some praise and worship there kidogo.
Yeah. So but he actually prayed, and his prayers really helped him, because that morning when he went to, it is good he had come out and told me the truth about his life and about that other lady, because that morning when he went to Eldoret, he was having a gig, he was emceeing some wedding.
Yeah, that's
so this lady now had already planned how she was going to arrest him and implicate him of sijui hitting her with a microwave, sijui what. So this time Kones has not proposed, but now there is a rumor that this guy is like, he goes out with Eunice. But you know, me, I talk to many people, so they were not very sure whether it's a relationship or we are just friends, or because I'm a social person. Yes, so that morning when he went to Eldoret, he was arrested.
Yeah.
And this lady had paid bloggers to write about him and all that. So this weekend I've gone to visit some aunt of mine, and this guy is very funny. That time he had already given me a ring to book my finger. Who does that? So nimevaa ring. So nimevaa ring, but that haiko inanitosha vizuri. But nasikia niitoe, but na feel sasa nikitoa ta feel siko serious. Sasa nairudisha. So my cousin had already seen that ring and is like, kwani umeproposiwa na ring inakaa kama ya harusi. And now this story comes up, and this lady, I don't know how she had known my name. I think alikuwa amefanya ma research, and kidogo it's being tweeted at this impossible dude is on Gafla. He's been arrested in Eldoret for beating his wife. Now it's his wife, not even girlfriend. His wife with a microwave, blah blah blah. Then apparently it's like he's seeing someone from Citizen. So you know, many people are not aware of this story, whether we are going out or anything. But those who have been seeing me with him, they assume I must be knowing this story. So they're like, hey, Eunice, ule besti yako mwana amechapa wife, sijui nini. Kani huo boy venye anakanga mpo hivi alisema yeye ni single, sijui nini. Kumbe alikuwa na wife. So you can imagine now what I'm feeling. I'm like, I have mixed feelings. Do I believe him? Or do I believe this story? Then a part of me tells me, he would not lie to me because he wouldn't know this would come to the social media. So I would rather stick with the truth that I've heard from the horse's mouth than this hearsay. And you know, lies go out so fast and people tend to believe them. than how truth goes out. Because even when he came out and spoke about his story and just told them what the truth was, a lot of people didn't buy it. Because
they told me things on...
Yeah, they really told him things.
Yeah, they told me, but they...
So there's a friend of his who is a lawyer at Eldoret. He went and removed him, and he went on with the gig like nothing had happened. Then he came back. So he came back, of course, now thinking this relationship is over. Wangeci will not listen to me and all that. And when he came, I just told him, you know what? I'm sorry. This is life. Just ignore anything that happened. Don't concentrate on it, because now you will lose focus on your program of losing weight, and you're just about to finish this program. Then you will lose focus on many things because of somebody who is doing their lives outside there. So today it is news because it is out today. Tomorrow there'll be something else which will write off this, and life will continue. So I think a part of him could not believe I'm saying that. It was really, maybe it's good, you know, that you taught me forgiveness and forgetting. I never used to forgive very easily. I would just shut down and I'm not talking to you. I just say hi, and that's it. But at the back of my mind, I'm saying, this guy is just saying hi to me and he did ABCD to me. How do you say hi to me? I would take my time to think whether, do I really need to forgive you? Was that sorry genuine? Or because you just want this to be put under the carpet? Or because it's genuinely that you have found you have done me wrong and you're sincerely sorry? Maybe it's because the people I lived with before I met him, it was a rare thing for them. Actually, I don't think they ever apologized. Since teenagehood or young adulthood, when you came to realize about relationships, you are not in a healthy relationship. You're just used to abusive relationship. So from my perspective, you get to think that maybe this is what love is, that someone has to shout at you at some point and maybe even hit you. That's why I think those who are in abusive marriages or relationships, it's a bit difficult to get out. So people who are out here, they're asking themselves, how is it that you're still hanging in there? Why can't you walk out? It is not easy to walk out, because these people also, the other side of them is that they sweet talk you too much, and then the other side of them is so good, yet it doesn't last for long before they go back to their brutality, but you find yourself just hanging in there. So when you are from that phase now to a different phase of somebody who is not abusive, those who are loving, they are kind, they are conscious. Their conscience is alive such that even when they wrong you, they don't feel I'm a man and I don't need to apologize. They are quick to apologize. Now you start asking yourself, is this sorry genuine? Is it really happening? How can a man apologize? You know, because we've not seen this before. So that is one thing I found in Levi. He's so fast to own up mistakes and apologize. And unlike me, I'm still working on it, but I think I'm better now than before.
Oh, you're lots better.
I hope I'm better now. So me, I'm that person who you'd wrong and I would keep quiet for a week. And I'm just weighing, do I talk to him today? Do I leave it? But I'll do everything else. I'll cook for you, I will iron, I will do what, but I'll not talk to you. So it was really hard for me because I feel like, why are you rushing me to accept your apology? And you within time you get used to it, but it comes like a strange thing in your life. I was not used to somebody who is caring and concerned about your day. How have you been? Are you at work? Have you had lunch? No. Yeah, that is wise. But before I would feel suffocated and I'm like, what is wrong with this guy? So you just connect a GPRS bus with your
I don't think I was also very patient, I'd say. Because, you know, there are certain things you enter into a relationship you expect they're going to happen because you're coming from a certain direction, which is not exactly a very good place to be. With upbringings and different experiences, you know, she talked about the experience she had in the past. I had experiences too in the past, and mine, by the time we were meeting, just prior to our meeting, had been a really bad relationship, which had ended with somebody, you know, cheating on me, and then that person had also gone ahead to try and con me of some money, then they had gone ahead to try and put me in jail, then they had gone ahead, you know, by the time we were proposing, I think I wrote about it extensively in the book, yeah. But you will see that there were a lot of things going on behind the shadows. And I was quick to cut off stuff. I think she'll tell you how many times I was like, you know what, it's over. There was a time when she told me.
11.
I thought you said there were 10.
11 times in like 3 years.
But wait, look, but it's been a long time.
No, I'm saying it was 11 times. 11 times from the time we had met to the. It was a span of within the first 3 years.
Yeah, it was a lot.
It
was a lot.
So he'd say it's over, then I'll say I'm sorry. Then I'm like, okay, are you saying it's over so that I say I'm sorry? Because I would feel like I'm... Then I would be like, okay, I've said I'm sorry, but I won't talk to you now. Because now, this is not I'm not sorry. I mean, I'm sorry for what? Because you're telling me it's over. So then I felt like, to some degree, I felt like he's doing that to manipulate me to do things that he wants me to do. So I thought, you know what? I can't fall into this thing again. Because now I'll start this thing of saying I'm sorry, yet I know I have not done any mistake. And then now, this will not be a physical violence like I would get previously, but it will be an emotional violence where you are violating what I'm feeling from within. So I just sat down and I said, you know what, if you feel it's over, then let it be just over. So there's one time we argued. I think I was working in Bungoma. Then I came home and found he was having a party with his colleagues, and they're just all over everywhere. I'm like, how do you just bring strangers in my house? Then I was so mad, and I would tell him, now what is this? You know, this is a home. We have children here. You can't bring strangers here. They are all over the place, kitchen where I don't even know them. So he felt like I was closing out on his friends, and like I was not giving him space to enjoy his home. And so we argued, and he rushed. So you know what? It can just be over. And I told him, okay, then it's over. So that really shocked him, because I had never said it's over. So he said, oh, okay. So it's over because you got someone from Bungoma? I said, no, not because I got somebody from Bungoma. Because you've been saying this, you've been saying this for a very long time. Maybe you've been waiting for this moment when I'll tell you, then it's okay, it's over.
I think one of the difficult things is, you know, when you try to get, in that time, maybe, and this is why communication is key, you want to say something to someone, you don't feel like they're understanding where you're coming from when you're trying to explain yourself. So you just, you rush to the end game and say, you know what, to hell with it. And it's not really a good thing to say, because you don't really mean that. But they are also feeling at the same time that because you've said that, you're manipulating them. But really you're trying to get them to a place where, you know, reason with me here. Don't... ulinijaribu sana hata wewe pia.
No, me, I was just...
tumtafutu sana.
No, Kones is that kind of a person. What he says is what goes. Maybe it's about men, I don't know.
Really? That's a story.
I don't know, because you know, there's a time he told me, you know, us from Calais land, women don't talk. You listen to your husband, even if you don't like what you hear, you wait for that moment when he's happy. That is when
then you say. You don't just
and you don't talk like you are giving orders. You don't talk like you are speaking from a point of conclusivity, that I don't have space to add into what you're saying or remove what you've said. And me, I told him, you know, us the way we were brought up, we speak our mind. I don't have to lie to you that I'm happy if I'm not happy. And if I feel what you're telling me is unfair, I better tell you just right there, it is unfair. Then I give you reasons as to why it's unfair. It doesn't mean that you have to be fair to me throughout. And I believe I'm not an angel. I'm also unfair to you sometimes. We hanged in there for some years. It wasn't easy.
It wasn't easy.
So I learned and I realized in this relationship or in these relationships that we have, don't seek too much to be understood by the other partner. Understand that person. And then now it will just flow to your side. But when we waste a lot of time trying to make this person understand you, they are also from the other end trying to make you understand them. We can just roll.
Maybe it was the house.
No, it wasn't. No, we can't say about the house.
Since we moved here, everything has been so...
No. You want me to remind you on the incidences?
Let me tell you, that one was even... it blew over in one day. It was not that extensive.
No, it's because we had grown. Because we had already gotten into COVID season and we were all staying at home. And now that time, he was used to storming out, by the way. But yes, since this is not working out.
To go and breathe. I told you. To go and breathe.
Yes, you told me, but that time... if I was to put myself into your shoes, I'm having a walk. Because every time, if you don't agree to what he says, he will go to the room, change, dress up. It's okay, just have this house to yourself. Wacha basi mimi niende huko nje. I'm like, oh, okay.
Kutafuta.
Of course. I'm like, oh, you know, mother, it's not even kutafuta. What crosses my mind is like, so you even brought up this so that you can create a situation where you can work out.
To do this forever.
Yeah.
Now you
so
just
that
want
you
to
can work out. So you just do this. Come in, have dinner, then tell me, you know what, I'm not feeling this vibe today. Let me go work out.
So I'll tell you what,
you don't have to argue.
So I realized that me walking out sends a different message from me trying to catch a break. So I stopped walking out. And I don't think it's a bad idea to go and, think and, walk around or something. To her, it sent a message that I'm walking out of the relationship, And then I think the other thing I realized is you don't have to deal with it there and then, because sometimes I wanted quick solutions, which she doesn't want. Sometimes she wants to think over it, go through it, decide again tomorrow morning. So I've learned how to kubali that, and that does not mean that now, if you are sleeping now, you face the wall. So we still pray the way we normally pray. I will still hold her, we will still sleep. Then we'll still talk about it in the morning.
Yeah, that's something unique about him. And I would ask myself, now this guy, what is he thinking in his head?
Yeah.
I'm not talking to you and you're stretching your hand. Yeah, let's pray. What are we praying about? So you just pray to your God, I pray to my God. Do you have to?
Yeah.
But it's a good thing. It's a good thing because at the end of the day, you find out that you're not mom the whole time. There's that time in the evening when you will talk because you have to pray.
Levy has an announcement and he's introducing a lady.
You know what happened? I had wanted a quiet proposal, to be honest. I wasn't really thinking of it was going to be on TV or anything like that. Because I spoke to Bella. Bella is our daughter. She's the first one I told. I want to propose to your mother. And she told me, I know. We had gone. I took her out Kwanzaa to break the news to her. It was the first of many lunches. We have a lot of lunches with her. And she told me, I already know. And I asked her, what do you think about it? Because Sheila was very young. Sheila was barely 4 years old, so not so much, to comprehend the magnitude of what a proposal would mean. So Bella was like, hey, we would be... She told me, you have my blessing. And then she warned me, but don't hurt my mom. I think because there had been some previous history of some violence. So when I got her blessing, I thought I would propose. So what happened was I mentioned to the director, a story too, that after the show, that day, I was going to do a proposal. We were supposed to go somewhere with some friends just to celebrate. When the director heard that, she got excited. She's like, no, it would be nice if you proposed during the show. I mean, for her, it was a good moment of content there. And then it became a thing, like, you're going to propose, you're going to propose, you're going to propose. We've already told the host you're going to propose, and suddenly there it is, and now I'm being called, hey, he has got an announcement. So the announcement, boom, went on. But you know, it was surprising to many people in as far as, because as I said, we had dated just for a small window. Some had barely even had the name Wangeci, some even in my family. So it was the helter-skelter of convincing people around you that this was not a joke. That, you know, so many people put a timer on it. Some of my own friends have recently told me, too, hey, enyewe, we had given you 2 years. This was for real. It doesn't remove, just because it was on TV, doesn't, give you some bulletproofness against what would be real issues in a marriage. If you don't tackle any of those real issues, you will still have as many problems as the next guy. Of course, in the back of your mind, you're thinking, I don't want to let myself down. I have done this thing on TV as well. There's a lot of pressure, because I must be honest with you, initially, some of my family members were not on board. Some of them are still not on board to date. And it was an intense moment for me to even move forward towards marriage. I got a lot of hurdles just trying to get married with her. Not so much on her side, because I think most of her members asked, there are some who asked a few questions, but then they got on board real quick. And although she had lost both parents, her brother, who is like her dad, and I became really good friends really quick. So in fact, it was him who advised me towards, 2 years in and no wedding coming up. He just said, you know what, you get married, you have my blessing. And that's when I was able to say, if you people are coming, come. If you don't want to come, don't come. Mm-hmm. And people ended up coming, and the wedding ended up happening. So there were some dynamics. We were not, and to be honest, even the pressure from parents, had we not just charted a path on our own, parents, relatives. I had one particular grandfather who was very, God rest his soul, but he was extremely vicious in as far as trying to make sure that this did not take place. And it was not an easy time. But what made it possible was the fact that we were patient with the fact that we were going to get married. We could easily at any time have walked to the DCs and dads, even behind their backs. But we still sought, a blessing, sought that camaraderie. And I cannot tell you, today, things are so different. I mean...
even that grandfather came through, said, you know what, it seems you decided it's this girl, just bring her.
Yeah.
I was taken to Chepkube, where that grandfather used to live. He blessed us. His issue was he could not understand, one, why he's marrying a Kikuyu. Number two, why are you marrying a widow? And number three, you have not introduced this girl to us. We don't know their family. I mean, we met her on TV. Who is she? You can't just marry a stranger. And the other thing is him being the firstborn in the family, it was a bit hard for him to be, okay. They didn't say it in a good way, but I don't have a better word to use it, but they were like, you were supposed to marry a fresh girl. Yeah. So, and according to him, it was, it's not about whether it's my tribe, whether she has children or not. It is about who this person is as a person, other than these other things around her life, what that person is, the values she carries, and how we relate. Because at the end of the day, it is me and that person will be living in this. You people in Bungoma here, you might not even see us in 2 years or whatever, but this person, I'll be seeing them every day. Is it a person I will be glad to wake up to? Is it a person I will look forward to go back to home in the evening? And they also had an issue that they already knew this about girl who was giving him issues. And they were like, we would rather this devil that we know than this angel you're talking about that we don't know.
Marriages, they say sometimes, and some marriages have, people get together and everyone jumps on board. Not so much. Us even trying to put a wedding together was all us. The support was not forthcoming. We just sat down, we came up with the money ourselves, and we called some friends to chip in terms of, what they could help to do. At some point, my father had said he wasn't coming, so I had decided he wasn't coming anyway, so I wasn't going to call him. And Wangeci picked up the phone and texted him with my phone, as if she's me, to request him, to say some words I could not have said, to ile kunyenyekea, to say...
parents are parents.
So he came, and then he refused to talk at the wedding. Completely. Or to even be acknowledged as... It was not easy.
Yeah.
But they do say, some of the tough things they bring out. And because I think part of that going through so much hell to get a wife was one of the reasons why we started maybe questioning ourselves, okay, on my part, as to why we would give each other hell. Because, life is not supposed to be... People say, okay, marriages have ups and downs, and you're supposed to have fights. If you're not having fights, it's not a real marriage. And everyone has got that point where they have a difference of opinion, but neither are you supposed to give each other hell in life. Just you get this partner, and all you're doing is going through the motions of just... So you begin to ask yourself, you really cannot go through all this. And you've become a father, not to one, not to two, now to 3 children, because now Eda was born. And our children, their sisters, they don't know who comes from who. And I keep telling them every day, no one should ever separate you on the basis of parentage. Your sisters, end of story. At that moment in time also, because my wife had no parents, and as far as her living parents were both gone, and only the siblings were present, it becomes imperative that as you pull together, you realize that you have no parents. Me, I may have a difficult time with my side of the people, but together we are parents. Yeah. And we need to do something different. So it was a tough time.
It was a very tough time, because I remember even when I first went to Eldoret, I could not, he was just showing me my home is there. I could not even go to their home, because the mother was also brought into that thing of rejecting me. And they used to say that Kones proposing on air to a lady who was not known to them was disrespectful. And since Mzee had not accepted me, Mom could not accept me as well. Do you know, we stayed in Eldoret for 11 days, and you'd pass through their home every day, and he would not go to their home because he doesn't want to go there without me. So we had to get other foster parents who accepted me and convinced him that you don't have to concentrate more on what your parents are saying. What the most important thing is that you have liked this lady and you think that you can do life with her, and that's it. They will come along and join you where you will be. Because now you might think you're doing this for your parents, but at the end of the day, it is for you first. Then if it works for you, then it should work for even us. We are there to support you. So you just move on with life. When they will come, they will come. So that is one thing that really touched me. And anytime Kones would wrong me, even to date, I would remember how he would give up on his mother and his father because he wanted to protect me first. So as much as he would say that you know what, it's done, let everyone go their way, a part of me knew he wouldn't do that to somebody who he had chosen to give up their parents, his parents on, if he was serious. Then he would have gone that time, because it will be, it's my mother, sons with mothers. But that time he told his mother, you know what, it is either you're on board or you're not on board, and I'm not coming there if I'm not coming with her. So she had to get on board, which really left me working out on now how do I continue with this relationship? Yet at the back of your mind, you know this person rejected me. So even when they come and tell you, now we embrace you, you are one of us, and what, you know, a part of you, the first impression they gave you is not that. So it really took time for me to work on me accepting them, because when they rejected me, I was like, you know what, let me just move on. So long as your son like me, so you will come along when you will come along. And also the fact that when Kones got sick, I really came in, and I never bothered them. I never used to call them or ask them, now the bill is like this, what do we do? We worked as a couple and we didn't give them stress. I think also that left them asking, who is this person? You know, I got into this relationship now fully knowing that it is me and you. These other people, if they come, they will come. If they don't come, so be it. So let's just leave God as the anchor and just take him as also our parent, because he has been my parent since I lost my parents, even when they weren't there. Let's do things knowing that it is the two of us. If they come and support us, so be it. If they don't support us, we don't feel bad and start cursing them. We just move on.
It was interesting because, you know, at that moment in time, my parents were also going through an issue themselves. It was just beginning to get wider and wider. So now when my father finally left, and mom was now so low, and that was going on, she, on her own accord, made great strides with us. In fact, they're really good friends. She's even really good friends with her sisters. And my father was like a yo-yo. He came back during the sickness. He disappeared again. You know, in terms of when I say come back and disappeared, I'm talking about that whole thing of acceptance. It was temporary at the sickness, and then it dissipated just as fast. And it is what it is. Yeah, because even some of the accusations, you know, surprised me, that when I was sick, sometimes you're still accused. You're told, oh, you're raising children. You know, those children will not take care of you. You should always remember that's not your blood. And I said, you know what, that is my choice. So it's very terrible to keep on having to fight for something. You know, there are people who get children that they did not expect. Maybe they fell in love with someone and something went on and suddenly, boom, they've got a baby. I walked into this one fully aware they were children. There's a big difference. On this one, I can never say I was surprised. It was not meant to be. It wasn't, you know, intentional. And I didn't just take them as my children. I fully adopted them and gave them my names. They are all Kones. Even on paper, they will inherit everything I have equally, as individuals as well. And I believe that this was what God intended to happen. That sometimes you look at your life and tell yourself, well, who knew? 36 years old and married. That's just about 10 years ago now. And married, not going anywhere. Most of my friends had gotten married. Many times I was being told so-and-so is settled, so-and-so is settled. I mean, look at that. I mean, what can you tell God? Here I am. I've got a college student. I've got a high school student. I've got a primary school student. I'm giving advice to some of my friends who got married way earlier than me on raising of children. I mean, God can really give you a lift. And I think it was always meant to be. I think when I stand before God, even He will tell me, all these paths you took, because one of the songs we played at our wedding was, God bless the broken road that led me straight to you. That broken road is full of things. It's past relationships, it's missed opportunities, it's maybe you did not make the right decisions in life, but all that led you here, you know. So nowadays, by the way, umekuwa mpoa sana.
Sasa sinipeleke holiday jayo story. Sinipeleke holiday jayo story. Alafu niambie sasa huko venye nimekuwa mpoa.